What's going on, everybody? What's going on? It's your boy, Mr. James Carrington, back at it again. How y'all doing out there? I hope you guys had a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Um, Mine wasn't bad at all. Mine wasn't bad at all. It was a 4 day weekend. Most of you already know I don't work on Fridays, so having that Friday off, Saturday, Sunday, and adding that Monday on there, that was like icing on the cake. So I really enjoyed myself. Um, had a barbecue on Monday, so the kids were all excited, and they wanted to get in the pool and everything, and we did not have a pump for the inflatable pool. So I told them that, hey, listen, if you really want to get into this pool, you're gonna have to blow it up using your own might, using your own strength. You're gonna have to take turns putting that valve on your mouth and blowing into it. Needless to say, that did not happen. So I had to, whatchamacallit, order a pool for them. I mean, a pool pump for them from Amazon. So hopefully, I should get it in a few days, and the next time we have another cookout or something, they can go relax in their pool. Also, if you haven't subscribed to any of my channels, I suggest you do that now. Stop whatever you're doing. Number one, stop what you're doing right now. Hit the like and the subscribe button or the notification bell button so that when I put up videos, you can get it. This is a relatively new channel that we're trying to grow, and with your help, I know we can do it. I know we can do it little by little. Rome was not built in a day, so please help me build this channel. So the first thing I would say is, again, if you're watching me on YouTube, so obviously click on the like and subscribe button, the subscribe and notification bell button. And what does this one want? What do you want? No, it's not in my safe. Like I said, forget about it. You will listen to it tomorrow when we find it. Um, what was I saying? Anyway, yeah. So and then if you look at the link on the very top of the banner, that is my audio podcast link. And to be honest with you folks, again, YouTube is not really where I place most of my products. Okay, the heavy hitting stuff is all on that link in red. Okay, that is where I can talk for an hour and a half straight. I don't bother you with videos, and you don't have to see this ugly face for an hour and a half. It's just straight up talk, and I can say a lot of things on there that I can't say on YouTube. So if you want the real hardcore nitty gritty stuff, the audio version is the way to go. Now, I know YouTube is the place to be and all that stuff, but if you're old school like me, and again, I'm not doing this because of money. I don't care for the money part of it. You know, if at some point, YouTube, if I think YouTube is viable, if I have enough followers and I have to monetize YouTube content, then sure. But I'm just starting out now, so I really want people to listen to what I have to say. Not for the visuals and the special effects and all that. What I just want to give you guys is straight up raw talk. You understand what I'm saying? So, and I'm not gonna really put a lot of raw talk on YouTube because, again, I mean, I know some people do it, but you know, most of my episodes are an hour and a half. Do you really want to listen to me for an hour and a half on YouTube? Can you really keep staring at my face for an hour and a half on YouTube? I don't think so. Like, for someone like me who watches YouTube videos, I have the option of YouTube Premium where I don't watch the video as my screen can be blank while I'm listening to whoever is talking. So if you have that feature, then fine. But Again, it's no different than if you're not really particularly interested in the visuals, then the audio podcast is the way to go. And I'm telling you, click on the audio podcast. You will, link on the top. You will get a lot more material. That's where all the every time I release an episode, that is where it goes. Okay. But of course, I'm slowly going to be putting out a few YouTube clips every now and then too. So again, subscribe to YouTube as well by hitting on the subscription button, the subscribe button, as well as on the notification button. Okay. And also follow us on Facebook. And if you're interested in, and I think this is folks, we live in an interactive world, okay? We live in a world where, people need to talk to each other. And that is what I want to do with you guys, okay? I want us to go back to the way things used to be where people would call in and, like kind of like how some of the prominent YouTube personalities would do. You have people that'll call in and talk to you. Now, I haven't set up a call-in apparatus yet, but you can still text me on topics that I put out and let me know what you think, or even send me voice notes, and I'll play it online for others to hear, and they can also chime in. Okay, and I've made it simple enough for you guys to do that. Okay, just download the WhatsApp app. And put in the number of the show, which is +1, because the show is based in North America. So it's +1 484 547 7572. Okay, that's +1 484 547 7572. Okay, it you could be in Beijing or you could be in Sydney, Australia. Because if you have WhatsApp, you will be able to chime in. Okay. So let's get into it. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but if you go on the I started talking about the divide that exists between African Americans and African immigrants. Okay. And I put out the first part of it. Okay, and I basically told you guys that I had three working theories that I had come up with over the span of a decade as to why this divide exists. Okay, and so I put out the first working theory as to why Africans, immigrants, and not all of them, but most of them, distance themselves from African Americans when they come to America. Okay? And that one was, the first working theory was that it was because they didn't want to lose their sense of identity. Okay? The sense of cultural identity. That is a fear that most African migrants have. And that is why they will do everything in their power to distance themselves from African Americans. Okay, because I know this is something that both groups have talked about on numerous occasions, and African Americans have made a lot of legitimate points. Okay, African Americans, or FBA or ADOS, whatever you want to call yourself, if you can trace your lineage back to enslaved Africans that came to America. You guys, I've been listening to you. I've been listening to the African American community. Okay. And a lot of Africans have been listening to you. Okay. And so what I'm trying to do is address those concerns that you have put forth as far as your interactions with Africans, okay, or with African migrants. So I have put forward three working theories, okay, that I said explain why there is that divide, okay? And if you listen to it, you will realize that I basically filter out all the lies and all the bullshit that a lot of other YouTube more prominent than me, I must say. Okay, more prominent YouTube podcasters that have been doing this for a while have put out there. A lot of it is fallacy. A lot of it is fallacy. And you need to hear the real truth. And I break it down in such a way that will make sense to even a 2-year-old. Okay, so if you're interested in the truth, if you really, really, really want to know why this divide exists, and if you're really, really interested in closing that divide, that is if you're interested in doing that, then you need to listen to what the theories that I put forth. And if you think that the theories don't make sense, you think that the theories are something that I just pulled out of my behind, even though I'm going to support them, okay, with historical facts and stuff that you can easily find online yourself from reputable sources, then you can make your own conclusion or come to your own conclusion about this. Because you see, this thing is not going away. It is not going away. But we have to work around it. As black folks, we have to work around it. It's funny. I've even heard some African Americans saying that Africans shouldn't refer to themselves as blacks anymore. Like, seriously, you look at me, I'm an African migrant, and you're saying I shouldn't call myself black. What do you want me to call myself? I'm not black. What am I? Am I Caucasian? Am I what exactly am I? Black is just a color. You understand? So it doesn't matter whether you're from Africa or you're from America or you're from wherever. Black is just a color. And no one can, unless if you're not really phenotypically black, you can't say that someone can't lay, or only one group of people can lay claim to the notion that they're black. Black is just a color. If you have melanin in you, if you have African ancestry in your DNA, you are black. So, but you see, this is the sort of ignorant statements that I'm hearing online now, or I'm reading online, where people are like, well, those Africans can't claim they're black. It's only us, the African Americans and the FBA and the ADOS that can claim black. That is the most non-intelligent statement ever made. Seriously. Okay, so let's and this is what I'm trying to do, is just filter out all that nonsense and all that garbage and so that we can be objective about this topic, and we can come to solutions as to how to bridge this divide. You understand? Because we, for the longest part, have sat down, those of us that are not on the extreme ends of the argument or of the debate or of the conversation, have sat down and allowed certain individuals to hijack the conversation. And these are individuals with huge platforms. These are individuals with far-reaching platforms, okay? And because of that, their influence on the way people think is very far-reaching. The consequences of what they put out there, even if it's, half truth, half fallacy, still has some very significant ramifications. You understand? And as my fellow, FBA or ADOS brothers or African American brothers would say, let's keep it a buck. You want to keep it real? Let's keep it real. You understand? So, again, if you want to keep it real, I suggest you have an open mind. And this is not directed just towards African Americans, but also towards my African brothers who are on the continent or who are in the diaspora. We are all a part of this conversation. So go to the link on the top of the banner, I have already put out the first working theory, okay, as to why African Americans or Africans, quote unquote, distance themselves from African Americans when they come to America. Not all of them, I must say, again, not all of them, but the majority of them. And why and why they do that, and when they do that, how that manifests itself, okay? The sort of behavior that they exhibit, that African Americans see and think of it as disrespectful, think of it as insulting. You understand? You as an listen, if you as an African American, you need to understand the root cause of that. Okay, you would be doing yourself a disservice if you didn't want to know the root cause of it. You think you know the root cause of it because you've been listening to other African Americans. But the thing is, if you really want to understand why things are the way they are, you can't, seriously think about it. You can't listen to an African American's opinions and views about a subject because there is bias there. Okay, you have to listen to a real African immigrant, someone like myself, who will break the stuff down, because I've lived in America for a few decades and I have been on both sides. Okay, or I consider myself a fairly subjective person. Okay, no, objective individual, and I will break it down to you. And as I'm speaking, you will realize that, you know what, this guy is not full of crap. He's really, the way he is explaining things to me makes sense. I hope I'm reaching you guys out there. I hope I'm reaching you guys out there, because believe me, in the first part, there was some criticism that I leveled against African migrants. There are certain behaviors that as African migrants we need to get out of our system. But again, if you're an African American and you're listening to me, if you're FBA and you're listening to me, if you're ADOS and you're listening to me, I explain to you why Africans do what it is that they do. Okay, so it's up to you, really. It's that whole red pill, blue pill thing. You can either take the red pill and really understand, take the wool off your eyes because you've been listening to some prominent YouTuber and he's just feeding you a bunch of lies, or she's feeding you a bunch of lies. Trust me, take it from a real African migrant, okay, who has kids here in America, who's raising his kids. To me, my kids are just as ADOS as the rest of you guys. I'm not teaching my kids to hate African Americans. I'm not teaching my kids to hate FBA. I'm not. So, you can listen to me or you can choose not to listen to me. Either way, I'm going to talk about it. Those who have ears can listen. You understand? And if those who want to really get to the root cause of this can listen. So, part 1 is already out. The first working theory is already out. Go to either the Facebook page. You won't find it on YouTube, but go to the Facebook page. I put it on the Facebook page. I posted it a couple times. It's entitled Why Africans Shun African Americans When They Come to America. Or you can listen to the audio version of it on the Simplecast platform. Okay, so that'll be it for today. Again, this is just a redirectional video because that is really what I use YouTube for. Okay, I'm not gonna sit up here and explain the whole thing to you. That'll take too much time. Go to the audio podcast or subscribe on Apple Podcast or Google Podcast. Get yourself in a nice, quiet, relaxed place. Maybe you're in bed, you're about to retire for the night. Plug in your headphones and listen to what I have to say. And then, if you agree with me, send me comments on the WhatsApp number. If you don't agree with me, send me comments on the WhatsApp number. +1 484 547 7572. +1 484 547-7572. And this conversation is not just between African Americans and Africans. You could be of any other nationality and you still want to chip in. Okay? So until you guys hear from me again, be safe, because America, or the world in general, is just getting crazier by the minute. I just heard that there was a mass shooting again, this time in Tulsa, Oklahoma. This just came up like about an hour ago. So the whole damn world is going nuts. So you guys be safe out there. Again, hit the subscribe button, please. We're trying to get to at least 100 followers by the end of June. If we can get to 100 followers by the end of June, listen, that's making progress right there, okay? Just hit the subscribe button. It doesn't take you more than a second to do that. And then go to the links that I have above and listen to the first part of why African Americans, or why Africans shun African, quote unquote, shun African Americans when they come to America. The first working theory that I have postulated. All right. So until I hear from you guys again, or until you hear from me again, be safe, be kind to your fellow man, and don't do what I wouldn't do. Okay, guys? All right. Have a good night.